Wait right here for me. Please raise your right hand. Place your left hand on the Bible. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that evidence you're about to give the court in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please be seated. Please state your full name and spell your last name. Speaking to me.
Jody Davenport, Davenport.
And Ms. Davenport, if you don't mind, tell this jury how old you are and if you're married, have any kids.
I am 30, I am married, and I have children, yes.
And where do you currently live?
I just moved to Hendersonville, North Carolina.
Okay, and at one time, did you live here in Horry County?
Yes,
and
for 30 years.
And tell this jury when you lived in Horry County.
I just moved back in July, so I lived here my whole life.
Okay, so for your whole life until you moved to Asheville. Okay, and at some point, did you work at the Tilted Kilt?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you don't mind, tell them when you worked at the Tilted Kilt.
I worked at Tilted Kilt for 2 years.
Okay, and when you worked there, we just heard from Jessica Cook. Did you work with her?
Yes.
Okay, and was she also your manager or supervisor?
Yes.
Okay, and did Heather Elvis also work at Tilted Kilt?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm going to show you a picture. It's already been admitted in the evidence. Do you recognize this young lady?
Yes.
And who is it?
That's Heather Elvis.
And is this how she looked when she was working at Tilted Kilt?
Yes.
Now, while you and Jessica and Heather were all working at Tilted Kilt, did Sidney Moore, the defendant, also work at Tilted Kilt?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what were your job responsibilities?
I mainly worked a lot of day shifts because I have kids. And, so I was usually the opening server. I'd come in the morning and get everything prepared for the day and start taking tables as soon as the building opened.
Okay, and what were Heather's responsibilities?
She was a hostess.
Okay, and do you know what the defendant did while he worked there?
As far as I knew, he was a maintenance man.
Okay, and when did he normally work?
I'm pretty sure that he worked at night.
Okay.
I did see him on a few occasions because I did work some night shifts, just not a lot.
Okay, and let me ask you something. Was Heather like a full-time employee, somebody she
Yes.
worked? Okay, so you worked with her a good bit.
Yes.
Okay, and tell this jury a little bit about the kind of employee she was.
She was always there. If she was going to be late or wasn't going to be there, which was very rare, she would call.
Okay, now let me ask you something. Did you ever see her with a phone?
Always.
Okay, and she worked at the hostess stand, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and she kept a phone on her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and about how old was she?
I believe whenever we started working together, she was 18.
Okay, okay, so she was under 21.
Yes, ma'am.
Couldn't serve alcohol.
Right.
Okay, now let me ask you something. During the time that she was there at Tilted Kilt, tell me about your knowledge about the relationship between her and the defendant, Sidney Moore.
Over the summer, I started, hearing little tidbits from her about her seeing him, and it progressed over the next few months, and then it stopped in October, around the end of October.
Okay, and did you ever see him visiting her during the day shift?
I did see him a few times bring her bagels and coffee during the day shift.
Okay, so he would come see her even when he wasn't working?
Yes.
Okay. Now, during that time frame, to your knowledge, was she dating anybody else?
No.
Did you see any other men coming to visit her during the day, like men do, just to be thoughtful to bring something to drink or eat?
No.
Okay. Now, at the time you were working there, was Dennis Hart Sr. also working there?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, was there ever any kind of sexual relationship between her and Dennis Hart?
No.
Okay. To your knowledge, was there ever any kind of sexual relationship between her and any other male employee there at the Tilted Kilt?
No.
Okay. Now, I want to go back. You were telling me that the relationship ended, I think you said the end of October, beginning of November? Okay. Tell me about how she appeared physically and mentally once this relationship ended.
She was really distraught. I know that she had been receiving some text messages from his wife, and she was really scared and upset. It was very obvious.
Okay. And this relationship between the two of them had gone on from the summer until, let's say, end of October, November.
Yes, ma'am.
So from about July, August, September, October, maybe 4 or 5 months.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there was some time under the belt.
Yes.
Okay. Now, was she afraid of his wife, Tammy Moore?
Yes.
And earlier, you weren't in here, but it was discussion or talk about a prank that was played on her. Do you know anything about that?
I remembered hearing about it.
Okay. And that prank involved Tammy Moore?
Some of the girls were pretending to be her, as far as I know.
Okay. And how did Heather react to that?
She was scared. She ended up going home that day.
Okay. Okay. Now let me ask you this. You told me a little bit about her demeanor after the breakup. She clearly was upset. This relationship had been going on for several months.
Yes.
Did you notice any physical changes in her?
Yes.
Tell the jury about those physical changes.
She had put on weight. We had uniforms that were very tight-fitting, and the whole first, year and a half that we worked together, we wore the same size uniform, and she had to go up, in her top. And it was actually part of the uniform to wear a bra, and she had to go up in the bra size as well. She just looked like a little bit of weight was on.
Okay, and
kind of all over.
okay, so she was gaining weight.
Yes.
Okay, now, do you know whether or not she took a pregnancy test?
I do.
And how do you know that?
She actually took a pregnancy test before we opened the restaurant one morning when we were all opening the restaurant together.
Okay, and did you see the test?
Yes.
And what was the result?
It said error.
Okay. Now, when was the last time you saw this young lady before she went missing?
I believe it was a day or two before she went missing. It was her last shift that she worked. We worked together.
So it was the last time y'all had worked together?
Yes.
Okay. And at that time, was it resolved whether or not she was pregnant?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay, so nobody knew for sure either way?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you worked at Tilted Kilt, did everyone park kind of in the same area?
Yes.
Okay. And Broadway at the beach is where Tilted Kilt is, correct?
Was. Yes.
Was. So there was multiple kind of restaurants, bars, that kind of thing out there?
Yes.
So everybody kind of parked close right there near, I'm assuming, the Tilted Kilt?
Yes, we actually had to park there for our safety. We would have, male staff members walk us to our cars at night, so they wanted us to all park together.
Okay. And at that time, did you know what color truck Sidney Moore drove?
Yes.
And what color was it?
One.
Okay. Had you ever seen him in a black truck?
No.
Okay. She worked there, you said, about a year?
I'm not exactly sure how long she worked there, but I worked there for 2 years, and she was there when I started.
Okay. And you know she was at least there from around the summer until December?
Yes.
So at least 6 or 7 months?
Yes.
Okay. During that time, how would you describe her general demeanor?
Bubbly, sometimes very smart aleck, but very bubbly girl.
Okay. Typical for kind of an 18, 19-year-old?
Yes.
Young. Was she free-spirited?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you told us earlier that she was upset and distraught, after this breakup happened and all these things unfolded with Sidney and his wife. Had you ever seen her like that before?
No.
Okay. Had she ever shown up to work with any bruising or injuries on her?
I did see her with a black eye.
And when was that?
It was sometime in between the breakup in October and her going missing in December. I can't tell you an exact date.
Okay. So it was sometime between the breakup and when?
And when she went missing in December.
Okay. Had she ever, prior to that, before she had gotten involved with Sidney and they had broken up and there was, this fear of Tammy Before that, had there ever been any injuries to her that you saw?
No.
And you said earlier the outfit for Tilted Kilt was a kind of a tie, little tie,
Yes, ma'am.
and a little kilt.
Yes, ma'am.
So you could see a lot of skin.
You could see the midriff area and from the knee to the upper thigh.
Okay. And all up here, of course.
Yes.
Okay. And you had never seen her have any injuries until after all this unfolded?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, do you have any knowledge who caused those injuries?
No.
Okay. You testified earlier that they played this prank on Heather and acted like they were Tammy and she went home and left. Do you know why? Do you have any knowledge why she was so afraid of Tammy Moore?
I know from talking to her about the whole situation that to her, in her opinion, she was crazy. Well, she actually used the words crazy bitch.
So she was definitely felt like there was something to be afraid of.
Yes.
During the time you worked with her and knew her during these months, to your knowledge, had she ever appeared or been afraid of anybody else?
No.
Did she have any kind of, to your knowledge, sexual relationship prior to this weight gain other than with Sidney Moore?
Not that I'm aware of.
And did she ever lose the weight?
No.
And to this day, you don't know whether she was pregnant or not.
No.
I don't have any further questions for this witness, Your Honor. Mr. Davenport?
Ms. Davenport, you indicated that you worked at the Twisted Kilt for 2 years?
Tilted Kilt, yes, for 2 years.
Okay, and during the time that you worked there, you interacted or worked with Heather Evans?
Yes, sir.
And you also interacted and worked with Sidney Moore?
I didn't work with him, but I saw him in passing.
Okay. How long during this period of time, what was the overlap when you and Ms. Elvis were working together?
I know that she was already there when I started, and I'm pretty sure that we worked together about 1.5 years.
Okay. Now, when Mr. Moore was working at the Tilted Kilt, do you know what amount of time that he was working at the restaurant?
No.
Because you worked morning shifts mostly, is
Yes.
that correct? Okay. And do you know what his job duties were?
As far as I know, he took care of some maintenance issues around the building.
Okay. Was he mostly the night person to come in?
Yes.
Do you know anything about Heather Elvis outside of the work environment?
We actually never hung out outside of work.
Do you know about her living arrangements?
No, sir.
Do you know about the people she dated other than Mr. Moore?
Just stories she had told me from when she was younger, but nothing, recent when we worked together.
Did she mention to you that she previously dated Jeremy Clement?
No.
Did you all attend a Christmas party together?
Yes.
And when was that Christmas party?
December 10th.
And that would have been just a few days before all of this.
Yes.
Was there drinking taking place at the Christmas party?
Yes.
Okay. And I understand that Heather was 19 years old. Was she drinking at the Christmas party?
I did not see her drink.
Did you post any pictures of the Christmas party on your Facebook page?
I believe I posted a few, including one of her.
Was she drinking in the picture that you posted?
No.
And he said you indicated that you saw Mr. Moore visit the restaurant during the day.
Yes.
And he would bring her bagels, donuts, things of that nature.
Yes.
At this point, was the relationship that they had a secret?
It was a secret to his wife.
Was it a secret to the people at the restaurant?
No.
So you knew that there was one?
Yes.
And I think you testified that the relationship came to an end around October of 2013?
Yes.
Would that have been before or after the prank phone call?
I believe it was before. I can't tell you for sure.
Now this prank phone call, did you participate in the prank
No.
phone call? Did you make the phone call?
No.
Was it one phone call or more than one?
From my knowledge, it was a lot of phone calls.
From the other employees?
Yes.
Okay, so it's more than one phone call?
Yes.
To your knowledge, how many? We'll take a guess.
I just knew that it was numerous.
More than 10 phone calls?
I can't say for sure.
Okay, numerous phone calls?
Yes.
From the employees to Ms. Elvis?
Yes.
And as a result of that, she took off work?
Yes.
And you indicated that Ms. Elvis had a fear of Tammy Moore.
Yes.
Did she ever express to you a fear of Sidney Moore?
No.
On these prank phone calls, do you know if anybody was ever like reprimanded or disciplined for making those calls?
I'm not sure.
Now you said that the relationship ended around October of 2013, correct?
Around the end of October, yes.
Okay, end of October. When was this pregnancy test allegation?
I can't remember an exact date.
Were you present when Ms. Elvis took the pregnancy test?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you actually look at the stick yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the stick said error?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was there ever a second pregnancy test taken?
Not that I'm aware of.
Do you know if Ms. Elvis went to an emergency room or OBGYN?
Not that I'm aware.
Do you know if she was taking any prenatal vitamins?
Not that I'm aware.
The MAS classes?
Not that I'm aware.
Was there any conversation where Ms. Elvis came back and relayed to you that she had followed up and found out that she was in fact pregnant?
No.
Do you know if Ms. Elvis was on any medication?
No.
No, you don't know?
I don't know.
Okay. Now let me ask you about this black eye incident. Do you know when that was?
It was sometime after the breakup.
Okay, so we had a breakup in October, the black eye incident sometime after that,
Yes,
and
sir.
then the pregnancy test sometime after that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now with this black eye incident, did Ms. Elvis indicate to you how she became injured?
No.
Did she tell you that Tammy Moore did it?
No.
Did she tell you that anybody else did it?
No.
Did she give you any explanation for that injury?
No. I never asked her.
Did she say that Sidney Moore did it?
No.
Did she seek any medical treatment for it?
Not that I'm aware of.
When was your first conversation with police regarding this case?
I can't remember.
Did you talk to the police like in the first few days of when Ms. Elvis was missing?
No.
Would it have been a few months later or 2 or 3 months later?
I believe so.
Okay. And did they ask you to give a written report at that time, a written statement?
I can't remember.
But your testimony is that you did not speak to any police officers about this case for several months.
I can't remember when I first spoke to them. It's been almost 6 years. I really can't remember.
Well, let's try to clarify that. I asked you, did you speak to police officers within the first couple days of her going missing?
Not that I remember.
Okay. And I asked you if you remember giving a statement a few months later to law enforcement.
I did at some point, I just don't remember exactly when.
Okay, so you remember giving a statement.
Yes.
Did you sit down and give it like a tape recorded or video interview?
I don't remember being recorded.
The only thing you recall is giving a written statement to the officer.
Yes, sir.
Now, just to be clear, was that written statement given in the first few days that she was missing, or was it given several months into this investigation?
It was after, so it could have been several months.
Court's indulgence.
Sir.
No further questions, thank you.
Read that.
No further questions for this witness?
Thank you. Do you wish the staff report to be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
You are free to step down, freedom. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we'll take our lunch break. Ask you to please, you're welcome to go. Ask you to be back in an hour. And if you do go out, do not discuss the case, of course, with anyone. Do not allow anybody to talk with you about the case or talk about it in your presence, and certainly do not talk among yourselves. We'll bring you, if you be back in the jury room by 1, we'll